We've got Phil now. Presentation on what you should have in your car.
Yeah.
And your fullback.
Well, yeah,
lights
it's
on.
not,
Lights
yeah,
on.
like,
Lights, camera, action. Each meeting, train
just before I start on this, there was a couple of things
Yep,
that
yep.
occurred to me in our earlier discussions. One is that these free grand piano scams. The New Zealand School of Dance got an email recently offering a new Yamaha grand piano.
GC1.
It just happened to be in Westport, and they'd need to, sorry, we can't give you the name of the carrier, but you just pay us and that sort of thing. So it's not just piano tuners.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
make sure you
Unreal.
maybe some of your
Yeah, because we've had clients
that know.
ring and they've been given an
Yeah.
email and they've sent it to us going, oh, do you think this is a good buy?
Yeah.
Should we
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
ahead with it? And we're like, no, it's a scam. It's
One
been
lady-
all over the world.
One lady booked us to move, said
That's
piano.
right. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Did
I
you
just
take your money?
I just also had one of
Repay
these
your move.
Up front.
one of these horror stories to share that, like, it happens to all of us sometimes when something stumps you that you can't, and you have to sort of work out what's going wrong with it. I had a Yamaha grand piano that had just been moved, and I was there to tune it, but there was one key jammed down, like it was down rock solid. So I came to the truth, there actually had to be something under the back of it, probably, and I'd fished kids' plastic toys and things out of the soundboard, and so it was obvious things had been dropped inside this. But anyway, so I managed to wind the capstan down so far that the hammer for that key dropped, where I could start manoeuvring the whole action out. And about halfway out, it just came to a rock solid, bonk, like it just stopped, And something it had happened to me before. I straight away thought, I know, I've got this. The dumb movers mixed up some pedal bolts. So there's some the leg bolt. So there's a long bolt in the front that shouldn't be there, but it wasn't that. It felt like that. It was this rock solid bonk that stopped the thing moving any further. And eventually I said, well, I think something's fallen into the cavity, like the key bed cavity, and the key frame it's just the right size that it actually acts as a little lockout. And with the customer's help, I got a steel straight edge under the whole key frame, and started de-weighting the whole thing slightly, started to ensure something went sort of rumble clonk in the cavity deep inside, and fortunately there was enough room peering down the gap for action brackets and all that, and I just saw this huge glass marble roll into view. And anyway, no, we got it out by using I've got one of these flange spacer tools that's like a screwdriver, just flares out, a real big, narrow flare at the end, and we put a big blob of blue tack on that and inserted it and pushed down and lifted this marble out.
Marvellous.
Then it came out, and what was holding this key up at the back was another glass marble, only much smaller. Yeah, anyway, some of those stories you just have to share. Anyway, we all end up, doing things from our own experience, and I don't know exactly what everybody else is doing too, but when you're attending to customers' pianos, you just come across all these nuisance things where it's not just something you fix with. It's not pins. It's not a piece of cloth of a certain thickness. It's missing action nut or something, or the pedal system's not working. And in modern Asian pianos, it's because some molded plastic part has it's broken in half or something, and it's so much hassle. I just suspect from experience that a lot of piano tuners, I've come across these pianos where the problem's been there forever, and whichever piano tuners they've had before have just fobbed it off. We can't get that. So bad luck, you've just got this piano that's, it's just going to be like this forever. And I have to say, thank goodness for David Jenkin. A lot of the time, like in my experience, I ring David, do you have these? Do you have? I don't know where David gets it all from, because you might scout round the internet yourself, you look at catalogues and that, and it's got to be from the right country of origin or the right manufacturer or something. But over the years I've just built up. You just got these boxes and you just build up things like hammer butts, action nuts of all kinds, robbed off scrap pianos. These toggle catches for
Yamaha toggles.
And Asian pianos, flanges, all sorts of flanges, even these action nuts. Some of this I bought.
Can I take it?
Yeah, okay.
Not for especially my purposes, but
Okay.
for the put something in the magazine. Thank you. And
Sharps,
black
sharp
sharks.
keytops, action,
Turnbuckle.
muffler system, turnbuckle. Some of this I've bought and some of this has been off scrapped pianos, and I mean often if I do find a source of something I need one of for the first time, I just buy two. They might be $5 each or something, and it just in the future when you need it, it'll just save
Will be there.
all that time. It's a lot of time. Like Brad was talking about before, you can't charge it 40 hours a week, and something that swallows a lot of time is chasing down something because you do want to do the right thing for the customer. Hinge pins. Even.
And how many customers ask you for those stupid ears on the music stand?
Oh yes, those too. Yes.
Paper rippers.
Yeah.
They love them, but then they always lose them.
Anyway,
Can't love them that much.
The pianist comes along and winds them out because they're like, shit, it's just ripping my paper, and then the owner comes back and winds them out.
everyone will have their favourite sort of stuff of cloth punchings and hammer butt cushions. There's quite a lot of uprights. They're a few decades old where they're falling off for some reason. Moth eaten. Two things. I mean, when I was learning off Matthew Field, I had the good fortune that he sat down with me and we went through a couple of catalogues, and he just told me, get a packet of that, get a packet of that, get one of that, get this, get that. But there's a lot of things you still end up not covered for. But all the hammer butt springs, the BR, BL, AL, AR. Same with damper return springs, jack springs. They're all pretty generic. And then, muffler return springs, butt plates, butt screws, hammer butt plates, butt screws, Beal cast iron.
We'll just refer those tunes to you.
Which number is
And I just wanted to have a bit of a general discussion about David's. You've sort of taken an interest in having a lot of the stuff, and you're willing to sell it to other people, and you've maybe discovered
It was just
sources.
I just have the same sickness that you do. I hate having something turn up that I can't repair. So it's exactly the same as you did. Instead of buying one, I used to buy 5. We had other people. You don't forget that we use anything, just not an equal.
And eventually you've obviously found a source somewhere.
Well, the stuff I get doesn't come from anywhere. It doesn't come from anywhere special, except that sometimes, just through experience, I've realised that this stuff here comes from this manufacturer or that manufacturer, and they actually have to go to the manufacturer and get the stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Which can be a pain in the bum
That's-
because they're,
yeah.
you know, they're more interested in making pianos and selling bits and pieces. But I mean, you know, you'll think about Yamaha donuts under the pedals.
Yep.
You know, they're a complete pain in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little plastic thing.
Yeah.
No, the nylon inserts under the pedals.
Yeah, but they're oblong.
They're oblong and they're keyed so that you can turn the wing nut on the top of the pedal.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, and if
And
would,
you don't
would
know
you
when
replace those? Would you get those and replace those as a?
No,
does
no.
anyone get them as a spare part and replace them?
Yeah, I do.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So we had a customer say my pedal squeaks. I went back, did the usual trick where you can turn the pin,
Yeah.
bang, squeaks gone,
Yep.
blue, brings back, pedal squeaks again, and it took me the third visit to work out that until I actually, and then I finished, I had guts full, so I pulled the pedal right out of the piano, took the sustain and half blow out, flipped them upside down. Oh hello, half blow's got a nylon insert
Got a
and
nice-
the
okay.
sustain is completely
Yeah.
missing. They shatter, fall on the bottom of the piano, then they get vacuumed up, and any tuner looking in the piano would be none the wiser that it's missing unless you put your
Yeah.
finger under and
Yeah. Okay.
Leather
yeah, doctor chair.
I don't replace those, I just put a leather touch.
Would have done that too, yeah.
It works really well, they last for
You
years.
do
No,
two
what about
pedals
that?
and keep
Goes
one nylon
under the
insert.
pedal.
What about a nice tough cloth key punch? Yeah. Do you ever just use a green key punch?
That's disintegrating.
I know. Yeah. You just you replace it
Now,
again.
punch them
But
on
you
your other
can
press.
use you can use too thin, front key punchings with a metal washer between.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
We just use boot leather and just punch it on the arbor press and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
make
yeah.
up custom punches.
The other thing that I use a lot of is 5mm nuts. Use them as lock nuts on a brand of piano unmentionable, where the wing nuts keep unwinding because they're just made of pressed. It's just a pressed steel
not
wing nut.
cast, yeah.
Bloody rubbish.
Dr.
Yeah.
CA works too.
Yeah.
Is it on the pedal?
Pedal on the
box.
on the top of the rocker.
Self-adjusting. There's a self-adjusting system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Permanently de-adjusted.
Yeah. Should I replace those or not? I mean, you come across them perished all the
Should
time.
replace them all the time.
Anthony Shaw has something to say
Some
about
people
that.
say
What's that?
just
Those rubber grommets. Why?
rubber grommets.
Aren't you the guy who always replaces them with felt?
No.
No.
I tend to do
So
cloth.
yeah, so I mean they just seem to melt those things, don't they? And then
Yeah.
stick on the thing. So if that happens, you have to replace them. But Yamahas and Kawais, yeah, they squeak.
Yeah,
So on the top of the rod, if you just put like a balance rail washer on both pedals, they will not squeak.
You can get away with hitch pin if you need the real thin, if a thin
Yeah.
one.
Even a paper washer will do it.
I just
I just carry a handful of paper clips with me.
Yeah,
So you just glue them in place.
between that
Next time
rubber.
you see the piano,
Yeah,
you
that-
can take the paper clips.
Do you know what's next? No, I'll get my thing.
Yeah, that for the top of
Yep.
Yeah.
the bottom one.
You need stacks of them.
You can have a whole lot of those. Buy a whole lot of those, and it just. It's nice to hear someone else thinks that. The importers like Yamaha, they should. I just don't quite understand why they don't make a bit of a thing out of making it known they've got all this stuff. They don't have it, and they don't want to get it for you.
No, they're hopeless.
Hopeless.
Nothing goes wrong.
Can the guild not ask them to do that kind of thing?
Well, that's the kind of thing I was just wanting to open a discussion on all this sort of thing to see if anyone
Pretty
had
much everything
any
you've shown
ideas.
us is available from the big suppliers.
Yeah.
So I just go to one source and just bang, I just order a massive
Yeah.
pile of stuff. It's easy, it's just one order.
Yeah, I
You know.
may not have.
We haven't done this though.
I may not have always found the supplier the same suppliers you have. It may vary from one country to another. I can't sort of find anyone that has.
Well, yeah, the
Everything.
forums every second.
Yeah.
Questions.
we can.
Where do you guys
Yeah.
design like this and this and this from? And it's a real stock standard thing. They can't find it.
Yeah.
And someone just pipes up and says, "Oh, Shaft had that," or Yarn, or whoever. And
I do
some people
find
don't take
buying
any effort to actually.
buying Yamaha parts through Australia sometimes is a lot quicker and cheaper.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Because Auckland
Well-
are hard
Well,
work.
Auckland
Useless.
are getting their parts supplied through Australia.
Yeah, but I have to get somebody in Australia to put it under another name because they don't want to sell to New Zealand because we have a rep. And then you say, yes, but my rep doesn't know what they're doing. And they go, but I've just told you the part number. And I said, yeah, so why can't I ring the rep in Auckland and say, I would like a butt spring for a Yamaha piano? And they go, which Yamaha would you like? I'm like, most Yamaha uprights have all got the same spring, haven't they? And they're like, oh my gosh, you need a part number, and if you don't have the part number, they have no idea where to look for it. And I'm like, they are the salespeople and the reps for New Zealand. It's rude. But how was your story ordering music stands for Yamahas, the plastic ones that snap on the U3s?
Oh.
Trying to order it from Music Works Auckland, and they said, sorry, can't supply that because everyone's different. And we went around the showroom, 16 Yamahas in a row, all had the same music stand. So I rang Australia, did a blast of Australia. He gave me the part number and said, you can't go wrong, here's the number. I rang Auckland, it still took 3 goes. But then Auckland to go, because I rang Auckland, I said, right, I've messaged Australia, here's the name I've gone through, here's the Australian reps, here's the number, you can't go wrong, please order me this. They then had to go to Australia and go, is this true? Is this the right part number? I'm like, oh my gosh, it was painful. Painful. So Auckland have asked us where we're getting the part numbers from. And Auckland want us to give them the part numbers because they apparently don't have the service manuals. But in inheriting Dead Tuners workshops, we've got the part lists from in 1976 Yamaha part list, which is the same part numbers still used today, and yet Auckland don't have them. So
I got
Go
some
figure.
stuff a
So
while.
if we need any Yamaha stuff, we'll just give you a call.
yeah, or Australia, they're really good.
I got some stuff a little while ago, and I
Jesus,
ordered them
Cameron.
by part number, and they eventually turned up. And I sort of 4 eons later, whatever. And a nice little note. Please note, this part number has been updated. Boom. It was. So from your 1987 parts number or order book or whatever.
The upshot was we ordered 4 music stands, not one, because it took 4 times as long to get one.
And it came through Australia or?
Yep. I came from Music Works, Auckland, and then the rural postie drops us off a box and we open it up and it's 8 brand new microphones. Yeah, they sent us the wrong thing. Brand new. They were probably worth about 1,000 something each. And then they had to ring and say, did you happen to give a parcel? And I said, well, have you got mine? And I'll swap you. And I said, why? Have you lost one? I said, it wouldn't be 8 microphones worth quite a few packet. Yeah, so they very quickly sent theirs through, but oh my god.
Jeez, how do they not trip over all the time with their clown shoes on?
I think missing parts go missing maybe
Something out of the
conveniently up
80s,
there.
this used to happen all the time.
Yes.
Well, South Pacific music. I've had a couple.
Whoa!
I have had a couple of. What's that? What they're called? The SAMAC.
Yeah,
The people
yeah, yeah.
who import the collar and give them all the SAMAC stuff. I've had a couple of positive experiences with them. Like, they actually have got. Taken an interest, got something, and it's been the right thing when it came.
Okay.
Just as long as you don't deal with Roger Smith, you're right.
Yeah, yes, you don't. Yeah, you don't need
Roger
to.
the Dodger.
Yeah. In Kauai, Australia, you know, KBB is the agent, but they put you onto they put you in contact with some guy in Sydney, and you can often get
A lot easier to deal with.
from them. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, thanks, Phil.
I really just wanted to
Thank you.
promote
Yeah.
the discussion.